baffles me. Now she says that GDP, by mere transfer of money from the husband to the wife, GDP will increase. So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, go to your dad and ask for pocket money and say, Dad, I am asking you because my GDP is increasing. Wonderful logic. The process argument is an increase in service. But let me give you one correct fact of economics, that unless and until there is no gross capital formation or that is skill development, there will be no increase in GDP, and therefore the argument of GDP falls flat very clearly. It is not at all an economic principle, ladies and gentlemen. It is a sheer move to before the people who are not conversant with economics. Now the model which they presented was even weird. Now 50% of the income, according to them, was to be shared uniformly across all sections of the society. A record has to be maintained and an Aadhaar card has to be used for implementation. I mean, that's the icing on the cake. Now first, therefore, I would like to rebut this whole argument with the implementation issue. Now let me bring it to your notice, ladies and gentlemen, that there is not a uniform civil law for Hindus and Muslims in this country. A country where litigation for even divorce is done through two separate laws, that is right from the British times. We are talking about a system which is going to pay equal wages right from the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid to all housewives. That sounds actually preposterous, but not even. Another point which they have brought forward is that record has to be maintained. I mean, close to 1.2 billion people, 2 billion people live in this country. You cannot possibly make a record of each and every household and how each and every household is actually developing, writing its record, and it will actually lead to not taking that. Now, I'm actually going to prove to you how it is going to lead to exploitation of housewives even more. Since there is going to be no possible guarantee in this huge country with a huge geographical barrier, we cannot actually ensure whether the man is paying the woman or not. Now this is going to lead to even more exploitation, because if now the woman asks the man that pay me money, he's going to beat her more. That is the basic psyche of a man which is going to work. It is going to squeeze household budgets. I'm not taking that. Basically, the side opposition believes that the woman, the housewife to be more particular, is the manager of the household budget. And in case she needs some money to work for her own expenses, she can definitely manage the budget and squeeze it out. That is what we believe in the status quo. Moreover, the argument of peer pressure is going to come forward. Now I'm not taking that. Peer pressure is going to work in that way that there is a woman A and a woman B who are talking to each other. One's husband earns more, therefore she gets more. One husband earns less, and therefore she's going to get less. And therefore the moral inducement is not uniform, and this is going to lead to a regressive wage system, something like the much debated indirect tax regime in this country. Each level of the social structure pays the same. Now, another very important point which side opposition is going to frame is the trust factor of how India's society is a social structure based on morals and values. We are a society in which moral inducement is principle as compared to any kind of other monetary inducement. Gradually, the system which they propose, what is going to happen is that there is going to be only monetary inducement, and women are gradually going to wane away from the moral inducement, and gradually the whole social structure will collapse and India will become just another necropolis. Now, another very important point is that basically this will put burden on the breadwinner. Now there is one breadwinner. Now he has certain expenses. Now each month the expense is actually different. The days of expenditure are actually different. It's actually going to put more pressure on the breadwinner, because in most families who are below poverty line, who are on marginal poverty line, APL, BPL families, all of them have a very limited margin, and most of them work in government subsidies. Now, a majority of that share of the money is actually going to go to the housewife. Now, imagine what is the situation going to be like. The wife is going to merely have a whole share of money for work which she is not entitled to. It is actually the amount of moral inducement she is putting into it. The man, on the contrary, has very little money to run the whole household. Alright. An important point was the payment proportional to respect. Now, I believe that Indian society is more of a moralistic aspect. Now, you cannot start paying women and induce respect to society. Respect comes right from the heart. Unless and until there is a moral transformation of people living in the society, you cannot possibly change the nature in which men behave to the women and women vice versa. Therefore, it is more important that we need to be educated through the social structure and the administration available. Paying them would actually commercialize the whole social structure of the family. It will actually lead to women asking for money, and if they are refused, it will lead to even more cases of domestic violence. And therefore, it's actually a whole butterfly effect which is going on in the society, which is actually going to be enhanced if not repealed. On the contrary, we believe that the government's administrative structure is there for education. There are legislations in place. It is a need for firm implementation of legislations and structure so that people can be educated of the importance of dynamics. Moreover, the important point which side opposition brought forward is that there has to be a GDP increase because the women are going to be sheerly dependent upon the male. I believe that the male and the man and the women are actually the logic of the Ardhanareshwar. They are one. They are not separated. The moment you separate their household income, it's going to go haywire. Because both of them together run the household with each person having a different specific duty. If the woman chooses to go for employment, that is a totally different argument. However, if the woman has chosen that she has to take care of her house, moral inducement and moral sustain is sufficient for her to work successfully for the structure of the family. Because ultimately it is not going to happen. It is not going to happen that giving them money is going to improve the social structure of the country.